Marques sat down with a lot on his chest. He wasn't there for small talk or to just check in. He had something important to talk about, something that's been weighing on him for a while now, his divorce. He's in the middle of trying to figure out how things went so wrong between him and Trish, and how to move forward in a way that keeps his children safe and emotionally secure. He started explaining how he went to sign the divorce papers, but something caught him off guard. The papers stated that there were no minor children involved. That threw him off because, of course, they do have children together. And when he asked the courthouse about it, they told him if he signed the papers like that, he'd have to go out of his way to prove they had kids. That just didn't sit right with him. So he didn't sign. What made it even more complicated is that neither Marques nor Trish have attorneys. They're trying to go through this divorce without any legal help. That's a risky and emotional path to take. Someone asked Marques if he needed a good lawyer, but he didn't even want to go down that road. For him, matters of the heart are different. He said that when it comes to emotional stuff like this, you can't really win. People usually spend all their money paying lawyers, and in the end, the court makes the decision anyway. Marques just didn't want to be part of that cycle, but his biggest concern wasn't the legal side, it was the kids. He kept saying that over and over. His children are his number one priority. But at the same time, he knows that until things are settled between him and Trish, their kids are still going to feel the effects. Their daughter especially, she's caught in the middle. Marques said Trish has been making it hard for him to spend time with her. He talked about how he stopped by to take their daughter Zaria home, and when he walked in, Trish was already deep in a conversation with her friend. And apparently, they were talking about him. He didn't know the woman, but she already had all these strong opinions about him. That moment really stuck with him. He felt like he was being shut out of his own daughter's life. What Marques really wants is to figure out how to work with Trish. He says that's what matters most. And recently, he even had a conversation with Ken, the new man in Trish's life. Marques didn't reach out to him, though. Ken made the first move. At first, Marques was suspicious. He felt like Ken had some kind of motive. But as they kept talking 1 hour, then 2, then 3, something shifted. He started to understand why Trish loved Ken so much. It hit him hard. Ken reminded her of her father. Everything she ever wanted in a man, Ken had it. And that's something Marques just couldn't be. He admitted that part, that Trish always wanted him to be like her dad, but he never was. And he never could be. This level of honesty is rare. Marques isn't usually seen as someone who's very introspective. He doesn't always look inward or talk about his feelings. But in this moment, he was being real. Still, there's clearly more to the story than just not being like her father. Their marriage had layers of pain and misunderstanding, and things started falling apart long before now. When someone asked Marques what role he played in the breakdown of the marriage, his response was honest. He said, "What did I do? I didn't leave a long time ago." That hit differently. Because it shows that he knew deep down that things weren't right from the start. He said after the first year, he already knew they weren't supposed to be together. But he stayed anyway. Out of guilt. Out of sympathy. Because he felt sorry for Trish. He even shared something his father told him on the actual day of the wedding. His dad said the marriage wouldn't last 5 years. And that stayed in Marques' mind. When they made it to year 5, he felt like he had proved his father wrong. And when it went beyond that 7, 10, 12 years, he thought maybe he had done something right. But the truth is, by year 10, he no longer wanted to be in the marriage. He was just staying because of circumstances. Trish had family issues, and he didn't feel right leaving her when she was dealing with so much. He felt trapped, but he also felt responsible. Still, even with all of that, Marques believed Trish never truly wanted a divorce. He was the one who filed. She also filed, but he says she did that because Ken told her to. In his mind, he still thinks she doesn't want to divorce him. He even went as far as saying, "I gave her to Ken. If I wanted her back, I could have her." That statement says a lot. It shows he still sees himself as the one in control, even though the marriage is already broken. It also shows he hasn't fully accepted the reality that Trish might be done for good. That's when it became clear to everyone watching, Trish doesn't want Marques the way he thinks she does. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. And until Marques comes to terms with that, he won't be able to move on. He even admitted that he still loves her, but not in a romantic way. He said she was his best friend, and losing her felt like losing a part of himself. He doesn't want to be with her romantically, but he wants to be there for the family they built. He still has this dream in his mind, a dream where the divorce is finalized, his son lives with him, their daughter continues with her dancing, and everyone gets along. Marques wants to build a relationship with Ken, keep things peaceful with Trish, and maybe even take a family vacation one day. In that dream, everyone is happy, and maybe Marques even has a girlfriend. But then reality kicks in. Someone told him straight up, the dream might be a little unrealistic. And they weren't trying to be mean. They just wanted him to see things clearly. They asked him what his relationship with his ex really looked like. Do they hang out? Do they talk? And Marques had to admit, no, they don't. Even if they get to a place where things are peaceful, where they can be cordial and polite, that doesn't mean they're best friends. That's just not how it works. Divorce, even in the best situations, changes everything. You can still co-parent. You can still show respect. But that closeness? That best friend connection? That usually doesn't come back, and so Marques was told something he needed to hear. Maybe it's time to find a new best friend. Maybe it's time to stop holding on to something that's already over. And maybe, just maybe, the best way to move forward is to finally let go. Through all of this, you can see that Marques is dealing with a lot of inner conflict. He's still holding on to pieces of a past that no longer exists. He wants things to go back to the way they were, but only the good parts. He hasn't fully processed the damage, the emotional distance, or the changes that have happened, but even so, he's trying. And that counts for something. He wants to be a good father. He wants to be involved. He wants to understand where things went wrong. And he's starting to open up about things he never talked about before. That's a big step, even if he's not all the way there yet. It's clear that Marques still needs time to figure things out. He's just starting to unpack all the emotions, mistakes, and memories from a long relationship that didn't turn out the way he hoped. But the important thing is that he's talking. He's letting people in. And even though it's messy and emotional, that's how healing begins. And maybe, as time goes on, he'll be able to see things even more clearly. Maybe he'll stop seeing Trish as someone he gave away and start understanding that she made her own choices too. Maybe he'll recognize that love changes, and that's okay. Maybe he'll stop trying to fix the past and start building something better for his future, and for his children's future too. This conversation wasn't just about divorce. It was about growth, letting go, and learning to see people, including yourself, for who they really are. Marques may not have all the answers yet, but at least now he's asking the right questions, and that's where real change begins.